Namaste, Hamisha Khushro Vitia. I am JVN Dr. Minakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. In today's session, we will discuss a topic named as the age-related macular degeneration. It is, in short, is also known as the ARMD. Uh, Macula, being the concern with the vision, has attracted the attention of many retina specialists. So many disorders have been identified and variously classified. It is a type of acquired maculopathy, and you very well know what is a macula. We have discussed in the anatomy of retina. What is macula? Anyone knows what is macula? Yes, the macula is a macula lutea. It is called a yellow spot, and it is of deeper red color, and it is deeper red than the fundus, and is situated at the posterior pole, and it is about 5.5 in diameter. And in the macula, there is a central depression known as fovea centralis, which is about 1.5 mm in diameter, and fovea centralis is the most sensitive part of retina. And in between the center of the fovea centralis, there is foveola, which is a shining pit. Its diameter is 0.3 mm, 0.35 mm, and then um, this foveola does not contain any retinal capillaries and is called the foveal avascular zone. So there is a small description of the macula. And the age-related macular degeneration (ARMD) is also called the senile macular degeneration. It is a bilateral disease of persons of 59 years of age or older, and it is a leading cause of blindness in developing countries in population above the age of 65 years. And it is of two types, the non-exudative and the exudative. First, we'll discuss the etiopathogenesis of ARMD. It is an age-related disease of worldwide prevalence. Certain risk factors which may affect the age of onset and or progression include the heredity, nutrition, smoking, hypertension, and exposure to sunlight. The disease is most prevalent in Caucasians, and the clinical types of ARMD are: first is the non-exudative or atrophic ARMD. It is also called a dry or geographic ARMD and is responsible for 90% cases. It typically causes mild to moderate gradual loss of vision. Patients may complain of distorted vision, difficulty in reading due to central shadowing. Ophthalmoscopically, it is characterized by occurrence of drusense, colloid bodies, pale areas of retinal pigment epithelium atrophy, and irregular or clustered pigmentation. Drusense appear as small, discrete, yellowish-white, slightly elevated spots. In later stages, there occurs the enlargement of the atrophic areas within which the larger choroidal vessels may become visible. It is called a geographic atrophy. Here is an image. In A image, they have shown the age-related macular degeneration of non-exudative type. Then there is a second type of ARMD, which is known as the exudative ARMD. It is also called the wet or neovascular ARMD. It is responsible for only 10% cases of ARMD, but is associated with comparatively rapidly progressive marked loss of vision. Typically, the course of exudative ARMD rapidly passes through many stages. These include the stage of drusen formation, stage of retinal pigment epithelium (RPE) detachment, stage of choroidal neovascularization (CNV), and the stage of hemorrhagic detachment of RPE, stage of hemorrhagic detachment of neurosensory retina, and the stage of disciform or scarring macular degeneration. So here is an image of the exudative type of age-related macular degeneration, the B image, and it has shown the stage of choroidal neovascularization. Then there is early versus late ARMD. What is early ARMD? What is late ARMD? The early ARMD includes the drusen, the areas of RP, hyperpigmentation, and/or depigmentation. The late ARMD includes geographic atrophy of RPE with visible underlying choroidal vessels, pigment epithelium detachment (PED), with or without neurosensory retinal detachment. Subretinal or sub-RPE means retinal pigment epithelium neovascularization, hemorrhage, and disciform scars. So we have already shown you the images of ARMD, non-exudative and exudative type. Then how will diagnose the ARMD? The clinical diagnosis is made from the typical signs described above, which are best elucidated on examination of the macula by slit lamp biomicroscopy with a +90 diopter or +78 diopter non-contact lens or Minster contact lens. Then second is the fundus fluorescein angiography and indocyanine green angiography help in detecting choroidal neovascularization (CNV) in relation to foveal avascular zone, which may be subfoveal, juxtafoveal, or extrafoveal CNV. Means choroidal neovascularization may be classical or occult. Then the treatment of ARMD. There is no effective treatment for non-exudative ARMD. However, some treatment options are available for exudative ARMD. First, the role of dietary supplements and antioxidants in prevention or treatment of ARMD. The age-related early disease study (AREDS) has suggested that use of certain specific antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals like vitamin C and E, beta-carotene, zinc, and copper could possibly prevent or delay the progression of ARMD. Treatment modalities available to treat the exudative or neovascular ARMD are: first is argon green laser photocoagulation is the treatment of choice for extrafoveal choroidal neovascularization membrane (CNVM). Then second is the photodynamic therapy (PDT). It is the treatment of choice for subfoveal and juxtafoveal classical CNVM. In photodynamic therapy, the verteporfin, a sensitizer or light-activated dye, is injected intravenously. The area of choroidal neovascular membrane is then exposed to light from a diode laser source at a wavelength 689 nanometer that corresponds to absorption peak of the dye. The light-activated dye then causes destruction of cellular structures and occlusion of CNVM with minimal damage to adjacent retinal pigment epithelium, photoreceptors, and capillaries. The next treatment modality is the transpupillary thermotherapy. It is a TTT with a diode laser 810 nanometer may be considered for subfoveal occult choroidal neovascularization membrane. The PDT, the photodynamic therapy, is definitely better than the transpupillary thermotherapy, but is very costly. Then the next treatment modality is the surgical treatment in the form of submacular surgery to remove CNVM, and macular translocation surgery are being evaluated. Then pharmacologic modulation with anti-angiogenic agent like interferon alpha 29, an inhibitor of vascular endothelial growth factor VEGF, is under experimental trial. So this session of age-related macular degeneration completes here. Thank you so much. This session is powered by digital version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you so much.
Vascular code, and it is beneath the sclera. Then microscopic structure of choroid from out from out inwards. It is a suprachoroidal lamina. The suprachoroidal lamina is a thin membrane of condensed collagen, melanocytes, and fibroblast. The potential space between this layer and the sclera is called the suprachoroidal space. Second layer is the stroma of the choroid. It consists of loose collagenous tissue with some elastic and reticulum fibers containing pigment cells and plasma cells. In addition, vessels are found and are arranged in three layers. The first layer is a layer of large vessels, which is also called the Haller's layer. Second layer is a layer of medium vessels, the Sattler's layer. Third layer is a layer of choriocapillaries. And the third layer of choroid is the basal lamina. It is also called the Bruch's membrane and lines the layer of choriocapillaries. Here in this image you see the various layers of the choroid. Then comes the blood supply of the uveal tract. Actually the choroid is a part of the uvea or uveal tract. Blood supply are short posterior ciliary arteries, and which are the branches of ophthalmic artery. It divides into 10 to 20 branches, pierce sclera around the optic nerve, supply choroid in segmental manner, and another artery will supply the uveal tract is long posterior ciliary arteries. They are two in number, nasal and temporal. They pierce the sclera. The anastomose with anterior ciliary arteries form major arterial circle, supply ciliary body. And then arteries which supply the uveal tract or anterior ciliary arteries. They are from the muscular arteries. They are 7 in number, 2 each for superior rectus, inferior rectus, medial rectus, and 1 from the lateral rectus. The anastomose with the LPCA. LPCA is the long posterior ciliary arteries. The circulus anterior, majors, and minor. Then the venous drainage of the uveal tract, uveal tissue, the vena verticosa, the vortex veins or the posterior ciliary veins. They are 4 in number, superior temporal, inferior temporal, superior nasal, and inferior nasal. They pierce sclera obliquely on each side of the superior rectus and inferior rectus muscles about 6 mm behind the equator. As you can see in the image, the blue color veins are the vortex veins. These are the venous drainage of the uvea. The two superior vortex veins open into the superior ophthalmic vein, and the two inferior vortex veins open into the inferior ophthalmic vein. They both drain into cavernous sinus. Then last point is the functions of choroid. The blood supply to the outer 4 layers of retina and modulation of vascularization, regulate retinal heat, assist in the control of intraocular pressure, pigment absorbs the excess light, so avoid reflection. Thank you so much. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it soon.